Hi, this is Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about smart filters. So what do I mean by smart filters? So smart filters are something I've used for a long time. I think I naturally do it. So basically, I absorb a lot of media content. I read a lot of books. I listen to books. I listen to a ton of podcasts. I listen to YouTube. I watch YouTube. I watch television. I watch movies. That's a lot of information coming in, right? And information, art, they're kind of mixed in there. But because I intake all of this, I really am very interested in a smart filter. What do I mean by a smart filter? I want to see content that is coming from smart people. And I want to reduce the amount of content that I am listening to, watching, and that I'm absorbing from people who are not smart. And the reason why is because I feel like that's a better use of my time, okay? Now, what do I consider smart? Two things, mistake resistant and educated. What do I mean by mistake resistant? So, person makes a mistake and then does not make that mistake again because they've learned a lesson. That is an attribute of a smart person. Educated. I have found, my father said something to me when I was young. He said, anytime you give $1 to somebody and you don't get anything back except a piece of paper, you got rooked, right? And the only exception is a degree, and that is a major exception, and it's the one place where the piece of paper you're getting is worth every penny, right? And I found that he's absolutely true. Every time I've gotten a new degree, I've made more and I've been able to do more in the work field. And so I personally understand the value of education, and I want to listen to people who are more educated than I, or got more from their education than I did, okay? So one of the things why I'm talking about smart filters today is I've started, so there's so much media and content out there. There's a lot of platforms that carry that content and media. And I was starting to get confused about some of the things that I saw, because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So I'll just list some of them, right? Twitter doesn't make sense to me. Google Plus doesn't make sense to me, right? And podcasts don't make sense to me. I'll knock these off, right? Twitter. Why does anybody want to communicate on a platform that limits you to 140 characters or now 280 characters? What's the point of that, right? I could just go on Facebook and post as much as I want. What is the value in Twitter, right? So I really didn't see a high value in Twitter. Podcasts, right? We now have YouTube. Everything that goes into a podcast, you can just dump it right on YouTube and just put a thumbnail behind it. It's a much better way to handle it, right? And so podcasts don't make any sense. Twitter doesn't make any sense. Google Plus, right? I liked Google Plus. It is a much better interface than Facebook, right? And so I tried to use Google Plus for a while, and then I came off of it because nobody I knew was on Google Plus. I'm like, this is stupid. Why is Google Plus still around when nobody is using it? When the barest minimum number of people are using it, and it's the same across all three of these: Twitter, Google Plus, podcasts. Only a few people use these, and then I realized something. The reason why all of these are still relevant, the reason why people are still using them, is the following. Every single one of them, Twitter, Google Plus, and podcasts, are smart filters. They're smart filters. They filter out content from people who are not smart, because people who are not smart don't make content on those platforms, not in significant numbers. There are certainly people who are not smart on each one of those platforms, but they are the exception, and the small exception. Almost everybody on Google Plus is smart. Almost everybody using Twitter is smart. Almost everybody creating podcasts is smart, right? And so, and like, this is really fascinating to me, because I'm like, podcasts are the stupidest thing in the world now. Like, they've been around for 10, 12 years. Why are people still making them? You could just put your content right on YouTube, get way more viewers, right? And I realized the reason why advertisers are paying for podcast time, and there are certainly advertisers paying for YouTube ads, but people pay a premium for podcast ads because they know there's going to be smart people listening to those, to those podcasts. And I realized, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense. They're paying that premium dollar for podcasts because they know they're going to get a smart person, and that means higher income, and that means higher income, right? So more and more, when you look at media platforms and you look at things that carry content, and you're like, why does this thing exist? It doesn't make any sense, right? More and more, they're smart filters. Just recognize them as smart filters. They are filtering out content from people who are not smart, right? And, or choosing not to be smart, right? And that's definitely happens a lot. So, and the reason why I'm sharing this is helping me process the world, right? Because a lot of times I look to the side and I'm like, why does this thing still exist, right? And so, and it really helped me put into perspective, because I truly thought, podcasts will go away soon. Like, there's just no point in them, right? But if you understand that they're serving a filtering, that their service, the service that platform provides, is a filter for smart, well, everybody's always going to need a filter for smart, and that's very, very interesting to me. So, smart filters. Take care.